Okay. So, you know, I'm really excited about NBF because I don't know about all you guys, but I've got to switch up my workouts all the time. Like that's one thing that I always loved about Beachbody and Beachbody On Demand because I could always kind of do something different. Like I could always have just multiple options at my fingertips because I get very antsy very quickly. And I also get kind of bored very quickly with the same kind of workout. Like I could never just do the same workout all the time, do over and over and over again. And so I'm really excited about the NBF just to kind of switch it up. And just to have a trainer that honestly I haven't even seen in a while. I haven't seen Megan since she did Clean Week, which that was like 3 years ago, to be honest, I'm pretty sure. And so just to even have the new voice in my head, just to have the new trainer to kind of work with. And I'm really enjoying even just the sample workouts. If you guys get a chance, jump on and try the sample. I'm going to actually do it again today. I did it last week, but I'm going to do it again today just to kind of get me ready for tomorrow. But I'm very excited about it. And so let me know if you're interested in it. If you want to be a coach and you want to do it, we will start tomorrow. Or if you want to be just a challenger, it's totally fine too. We can start you on August 10th with us. Okay, so just a little couple shout outs on what's going on with like the team and stuff like that. And Nicole, with Summit, it's going to be all virtual. So it'll be like this. We'll run meetings like this. And then I can either like screen share and we can like watch it all together. I can even record it that way just in case somebody's not going to see it. But I believe Beachbody will be recording it as well. So if there's ever a day that you can't jump on, you can catch the recording from Beachbody. They'll probably have it on like their coach office or their website that you can get to. But we're going to actually go more into it. I'll talk to you about it, but we're going to talk about it on Thursday's meeting. I'm going to talk about it a little bit and I'll kind of let you know about Thursday's meeting and stuff like that and get you all in with the coaches and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys don't know what Summit is, maybe if you're a challenger, you haven't been a coach for very long, Summit is basically typically our yearly annual event for coaches. So we all kind of jump or we all fly into a city, and I mean coaches from all over the country, top coaches, all the super trainers, you know, Beachbody's all there, and they run a huge 3-day event where you work out together, you get insight, and you hear from like super trainers. We work out with super trainers. So like I've worked out with Jericho, I've worked out with Shaun T, I've worked out with Autumn Calabrese, I've worked out with Chris Downing and Tony Horton, what's the Lift 4 guy, Joel Freeman. I've like literally I've worked out with all of these people just from being at Summit and getting to do like private little workouts with them. And then also you hear from like a lot of top coaches and things like that, a lot of business building tips and things like that. So obviously it was canceled this year. We're supposed to be in New Orleans in 2 weeks, but that got canceled. So they're doing a virtual one. So now they're doing kind of all like a Zoom meeting, but they're doing like several ones each day. So they kind of like chopped up and pulled out the important stuff from Summit and found a way to kind of present it online. So we'll be doing that. And Thursday is 8 o'clock for our meeting. Yep, Thursday night. Yep, is coaches meeting. So we meet Monday through Thursday, Warrior Hour, 8 to 9 a.m. And then Thursday night is 8 p.m. team meeting. And then Friday morning is workout. And then you're off for the weekends. It's actually pretty exciting to feel like I'm like on a schedule. In my business, I couldn't say that's ever really happened. Other than I've always had Thursday night calls for team calls, but that's pretty much been it. Everything else has always been like really just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, but I feel like I'm really getting in a good schedule with my business. And you guys, I'm on my 5th year of coaching, right? Like it's taken a long time to even get here. And I still feel like, oh my God, there's so many things that I could be doing and setting up and taking care of and really getting organized. Like, I feel like there's so much more I can do, but even just recognizing what has happened, right? I think sometimes just in life, we get so caught up in what still needs to happen and what should be happening or what we expect ourselves to be doing, instead of just like stopping for a second and being like, wow, but look how far I've come, right? Like there's so much more I could be doing in my business that I could beat myself up over, or that I could sit there and be like, oh my God, Jenny, you need to be meeting with so-and-so, and you need to be having meetings with this, and you need to get this together, and you should be hosting this, and da 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 da. Or I can say, wow, Jen, look at what you've created so far. Look at what's happened already. Look at this team really rallying behind you. Look at this team forming and creating, and you have all the time in the world in the future to build more. Right? So let's just appreciate what we have right now while actively working towards more. And I always kind of remember that quote of just like, why do you think you deserve more when you're not even appreciative to the things that are sitting in front of you? Okay. So how can we expect more when we aren't even recognizing what's happened in the first place? Okay. So for me, I'm just recognizing that, wow, we have like warrior hours scheduled Monday through Thursday. We have a workout scheduled. We have team meetings scheduled. We have team challenges scheduled and team events scheduled. Like, that's just really cool for me because it's never happened in the past. And I'm just going to like appreciate it for what it is right there. Right. And so I think that we should just kind of maybe get more in that headspace of like, instead of being like, oh my God, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, or, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this. Who cares? Let's just appreciate what you do have sitting right in front of you. Let's just appreciate that I did get up and I did make coffee and I did put mascara on today. And I'm really happy about it. Right? Like, I'm just really happy about it. I'm feeling good. And I'm like, cheers, right? Like, instead of being like, oh my God, I still don't have everything packed. And oh my God, I still don't have blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I could go down that rabbit hole, right? But where's that going to get me other than further down? And so I'm just going to appreciate where I'm at. And I like that better. I feel better about that. Like, doesn't that feel better, like, in your heart center of just like being appreciative rather than beating yourself up? Like, if you just like really think about it, it's like, wow, like, instead of being like, oh my God, Jenny, you didn't do blah, 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 blah. Instead of being like, wow, I'm really proud of you for doing this instead. Right? Maybe I didn't get everything packed I wanted to this weekend, but oh my gosh, I took the longest nap in the world this weekend. And I saw Tennille, I actually was just reading, I saw Tennille, she said that she took a long nap this weekend too. And it felt amazing. I was like, literally, I think I was over 3 hours. When I asked Mike what time we fell asleep and I woke up and it was like 7 something, I was like, what day is it? I don't even know what planet I'm on. I was just like so out of it, but it felt so good. Oh, it felt so good. And I'm not beating myself up about it. Heck no. My body needed that, right? Like, my body needed that rest. My body didn't need to be sitting there shoving stuff into boxes. No, it needed to rest and chill. Those boxes will still be there. That stuff will get into the boxes, I promise. Right? Like, it's going to happen. So why are we beating ourselves up over it when your body just needed rest, right? So I hope that you guys got some rest this weekend. Or if you didn't, then I really, really want you to plan for some rest this next weekend. Okay? Because July is going to be busy, especially if you maybe had an eventful weekend for like, 4th of July. Maybe you were camping or out with family and friends and you did like so much stuff and now you're like right back at work and you're just like cranking through stuff. Well, I could probably tell you by this weekend, you're going to need some rest, right? There's going to be a point where your body needs rest. Dude, this balloon right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. It keeps creeping in right here. Like, I keep like trying to like push it back. It's got like no air in it. So it's like, subpar floating, but it like keeps creeping in and then it like all of a sudden it's just like right in my face. But they're like tied to my chair, so I can't figure out how to get them off right now. I just kept looking in the screen and it just like was creeping in slowly. It's funny. Oh, Nicole, I'm so glad that you like slept in yesterday. Don't like, dude, take that time, sleep in every once in a while, you know? I'm not saying like, you know, sleep till noon every day and then like mope around in pajamas, right? Like all day. Like once you get up, kind of get some coffee, get moving and get some stuff done. But just know that that weekend, if you do not rest on the weekend, what happens by like Wednesday? You know, your body just like starts to shut down anyway. So if you would just rest, like I always think of it as like hunger pains. So we should never really experience hunger pains. Okay. So if you were consistently eating and you were maybe meal prepped and you had like a meal plan and you were consistently eating throughout the day, you should never really feel hunger or like being stuffed. Okay. Because what that does is that takes your roller coaster up and down. So, oh, I'm so hungry. So I'm going to stop. I'm just going to shove all this food in my mouth. And then what happens? You're super full and then you're lethargic and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you're just so full you can't do anything. Well, then later on the day, you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait because you ate this big meal, right? And then all of a sudden you get to this point where you're starving again. And so then you make rash decisions and you eat and you shove and you shove and shove all this food in your mouth. And then what happens? You're full again. So you guys, it's the same thing with like sleep and rest. If you go for so long, what's going to happen? You're going to feel exhausted at some point, right? But if you can rest before you're exhausted, that's going to actually provide a more sustainable, like, what am I trying to say? Like, it's going to be a little bit more sustainable for you in general. Like, so if you can rest before you get so exhausted or tired, then you can help maintain rather than being like, I have all this energy and I'm napping. I have all this energy and now I'm sleeping. Like, that's how Mike is. I love him to death, but Mike is like, he's either like going 500 miles an hour or dead to the world. And I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like, he's crazy. Like, he will literally like drink a Red Bull and be like, go, 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 go. And then he'll like come home and boom, he's like napping. And I'm just like, how did you even do that? It's like, oh, hold on a second. Oh, we're not doing music today.
Oh, come on.
That's on Thursday.
Oh, come on.
No, that's on, let's see, today's the 6th. So 7, 8 on the 9th.
No.
Yep, go put it on the calendar. You can play a song on the 9th. What? Oh, yeah. No, this is because I got a video. I was going to play them. No. Here, go eat your breakfast, please. With your strawberries. Thank you. Love you. And so I just want you guys to really recognize that more than staying on that roller coaster, okay? With food or with sleep as well, like rest. Like, don't go until your body is just like so exhausted that you can't even function anymore, right? Like, rest before that happens. Get the rest before you're so exhausted you just collapse.
Well, I forgot my mom.
Yes.
I using it in.
Yes, I am. Sorry. Sorry.
Excuse me.
Hmm.
If your phone is not using it, I do use my internet.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh, don't worry. You can use my internet.
So can we eat breakfast? Okay. So sorry. Okay, I have like the train of thought of like a toddler. I'm like, wait, what was I talking about? But basically, hopefully you guys got that. It's just like, try not to ride the roller coaster, right? Like, try to maintain rather than going up and down to those extremes with food or with rest or with life. Like, try not to get to that so exhausted that you're screaming and yelling because you don't know why. And you're like, oh, it's because I'm just so tired. Or, oh, I'm just so hungry. right? That's when our emotional state, when we're kind of tying back into last week of just emotional eating. But a lot of it is because we're not handling our emotions. And our emotions are exemplified in whether we have rest or whether we have food in our stomachs, right? Like I get more hangry and I get like crazier when I'm hangry compared to when I have food in my belly and I can think properly. And then the food that's in my belly will determine also my thought process, right? Like if I had like nice like leafy greens and a salad with some fresh vegetables, like my thought process after that compared to whether I had pizza and breadsticks and cinnamon sticks, like my brain thinks differently after that. So remember, you guys, you're fueling your body to function, right? Not suppress feelings, okay? Food is for your body to function. Sleep is for your body to function. If you're not getting it or the right kind or the right amount, you're not going to function properly, okay? So, and don't think that like you have to be perfect. You know, I had pizza over the weekend, no big deal, right? We just get right back on track. You just get right back on track. And that's probably why I took a 3-hour nap. It's because I had pizza in my stomach rather than, you know, big leafy greens. So I had like that heavy fat-fueled carbs in my belly. And that's probably why I took that 3-hour nap. But you know what? It was awesome. It was awesome. I enjoyed the pizza with my family and I loved that nap because it just like was like a coma and I didn't even care. I woke up and I was like, wow, I must have needed that, right? That doesn't mean I threw my whole life off. That doesn't mean I threw my whole fitness journey off. It means I had a great Saturday. I had a great nap. I had a great pizza with my family. And Monday, we're right back on track. Okay? That's it. We don't sit there and beat ourselves up and go, I shouldn't have had the pizza. How dare you have that pizza? La, 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 la. How dare you take that nap in the middle of the weekend? No, we don't do any of that. That does not serve us any positive purpose in our lives, you guys. Enjoy the pizza. You ordered the pizza. Enjoy the pizza. Right? Don't sit there and beat yourself up over a freaking pizza. Enjoy the pizza thoroughly. Like in your bones, in your stomach, all of it. Enjoy it and then move on and be like, dude, that was good. Move on, right? Like, why are we beating ourselves up over things? Derek, Michael, no. Hey, shut the door.
Son.
Sorry. So just had to say that, just had to remind you guys, it's totally fine to indulge. It's totally fine to take that extra rest on the weekends. Because you know what? I'm coming back Monday. Boom. Feeling amazing. I feel fantastic. I'm excited about the week. I feel rested. I feel like I've got family time in. I indulged a little bit. And here we are, right back on Monday, right back on track. We don't, like I always, someone said this to me a long time ago, and they were like, if you were running a race and you fell down, you don't go back to the beginning and start the race over. You get up, dust your knees off, and keep going, right? So why, if you had some pizza, does that ruin your journey and like you have to go all the way back to the beginning? No, you dust your knees off and you keep running. That's it. You just keep running. That's it. Okay, so you didn't ruin anything. You don't have to start over. You don't have to go back to square one. You dust the knees off and you keep running. And that's it. Okay, so remember that. When you guys are starting to beat yourselves up over something, you're gonna be like, nope, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm actually gonna enjoy this moment. Even if it's something I feel in the past I would have beat myself up for that I shouldn't be doing. Nope, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm just gonna enjoy it. Okay? Stop beating yourself up over stuff. It's not serving you any purpose in your brain. Okay? And maybe the more that I tell you guys about the stuff that I do, and I'm not going to beat myself up over it, maybe it'll help you recognize some of the things that you are beating yourself up over that you shouldn't be. Okay. So I'm just gonna start talking more about the things that I indulge in, right? Like we ordered pizza and we got the chocolate chip cookie, right? Like we didn't hold out. No, I said, if we're ordering pizza, get that freaking chocolate chip cookie too. I want that. Like I didn't question it. I said, we're going in, right? Like get it. And I enjoyed it and it was awesome. It was so good. And here I am, right back on track, right? I'll get my workout in, I get my shake in, I've got a salad for lunch, and we're all good. I didn't ruin anything, and neither are you. Okay? All right. So I do have a video for today. It's kind of weird Monday. By the way, like we wrapped up the 13-week Rachel Hollis videos. So I know I said that last week, but I just double checked this morning just to make sure she wasn't like sneaking random videos or something, or like had an extra one, or maybe if she wanted to show her face, but she does not. So, but I did want to talk to you guys. I don't know if you guys follow Dave on Instagram, but he's been posting. He has been posting in the past couple, he's posted like 2 or 3 posts about like them splitting, and like kind of a little bit of tidbit about like what he's kind of going through. It's interesting. I can't decide how I feel about it. And I know I probably shouldn't even have an opinion about it because it's like not my life. But part of me is just kind of like, almost like, is this a part of your, like, is this part of your guys' plan? Like, is this a little stunt? I have no idea. But then I'm like, no, I think also like he really is just trying to like show his side of it. But I don't know. I just have like animosity towards the whole situation. So I think I'm like reading it in like a defensive voice, I guess, you know. But if you guys get a chance, go check it out. It was kind of interesting to just read his like little perspective of what was going on. Yeah. So he's been interviewing people on the Rise Together podcast. I saw that he interviewed. Oh shoot, I forget now. But it was like it was a doctor. He like had interviewed, but then he had like done a couple posts too, and so it was just kind of interesting. I didn't see Rachel post anything or really show her face on anything. But it was definitely interesting to just hear his perspective of it all. So if you guys get a chance, pop over there. Or if you just want to continue following them with me, I kind of can't help it. But that was pretty cool though. So we need to get these balloons up, actually.
No.
Oh, here, take those scissors. Take the scissors and cut it. Yeah. We cut that? Not my fingers.
Why?
Because I want them off of here. Thank you. Will you take those into the other room? There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me pull this video up. We'll watch this. This is actually Les Brown, but it was kind of weird this morning, like waking up and being like, oh crap. Not oh crap, but like I was like, oh my gosh, we're not doing Rachel Hollis this morning. That was like weird. Okay. I'm just gonna type this title in. Oh, well, here I can just go to my Messenger. Does anybody else like send themselves stuff all the time on Messenger? I do that all the time. I have like my own name up on Messenger and I just send myself stuff all the time. I used to send stuff to Mike all the time and he'd get really mad. And I'm like, well, I gotta put it somewhere so I can keep it. And he would be like, send it to yourself. He's the one that told me I could do that. I didn't even know you could do that. But just in case you didn't know, you can send stuff to yourself on Messenger. You just type in your own name. Okay. Let's see what we've got for today. So it's been a little while since we have listened to some Les Brown. And
sometime or another.
And I think we're due to see him again. And I think there's some other Possibly some other people that speak in this video. Not sure. Oops. Okay, let's screen share. Okay, let it load here for just a second. All right, let's go ahead and listen to this. Take out your pencil and paper if you want to. There might be some good stuff that you might want to jot down. Some of this may be stuff that you've heard, but again, you guys, I have listened to multiple videos over the course of the years, and I've continued to listen to them over and over again. Hey, I'm talking.
How do I?
I'm talking. You can't do that. You have to leave.
How do
Can you
I
wait?
spell something?
You know how to spell Sonic. It's right on your shirt. But sorry. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. Listen to same videos over and over again is actually a good thing, okay? Because they're gonna hit you differently each day. And sometimes you might have grown a little bit. And so when you hear it again, you're like, oh wow, that's hitting me differently today. Or wow, that's really applying to this that I didn't really have or experience before when I listened to it. So some of this stuff you may have heard because we've listened to Les Brown before, but I still think it's important to continue listening to the same stuff over and over again. And you'll understand once you do it, especially as the years go by or as months go by, or maybe it's something we listened to 3 months ago in quarantine, but now you're not in quarantine, you're back out in the world. Maybe this can hit you differently, okay? So always continue to go back and re-listen to some of the motivation stuff that you've listened to. All right, here we go.
At some time or another, have agonized over making a decision. Some decisions are major decisions. And also there are a lot of small decisions that we don't make, that they tax our minds, they drain our energy, they create a lot of anxiety and nervousness and mental torment because we don't take care of it. We decide not to decide, which is a decision. Deciding to decide, to act, is a major, major challenge for all of us at different points in different areas of our lives. And there are things that happen to us along the way, experiences that we have that prevent us from working through the mental block of acting, of doing those things that we know we ought to do. And so what I want you to think about is, what is there that you know you need to do, that you want to do this, but for some reason or another, you've been holding back. For some reason or another, you just have not been able to gather your nerves or be able to work through the procrastinating or putting it off or justifying or blaming. Some reason or another, you just haven't done it. And you know you ought to do this. You really want to do this, but you don't know why you haven't done it. Because in order...
Pause this for just a second because I have no idea what's up with the walking women in this video. So I apologize. I don't know why this is part of it. But all right, I'm going to press play, but I just had to say that.
To begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. That you really have got to put all of yourself into it. It's very challenging to act, to do those things. There are times when you're looking at it and you say, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. I know I need to do it, yet leave me alone. No, I don't want to do it. So what do we do? What are those things that cause us to do like that? I think that among the things that prevent us from acting is the fear of failure. And if you've already failed, you don't want to fail again. The pain of that, the disappointment, the fear of loss is another thing. Because many times when we do those things that we know we need to do, we feel that we might lose somebody that we love very much and care about. We don't want to hurt anybody. Many of us don't act because we want other people's approval. We want everybody to like us and to accept us. And that's not possible. Many of us don't do the things that we want to do and don't act because of lack of self-confidence. We don't believe enough in ourselves. So there are many reasons why we don't act. There are other things, though, that affect us. Is that not wanting to take personal responsibility. We want somebody else to do it. And many times we pick up our inability to do certain things from people that we love, people that we admire. What I'm saying to you is that as you begin to look out on your life, this is challenging. This is not easy acting. So what are the things that we can begin to do to harness our will? Number one, you've got to bring it out and look at it. You've got to take the power out of it. You've got to expose it to the truth. And the truth is that it has no power over you. So write down something you want to act on, but for some reason that you've been holding back, and look at it. The next thing is, ask yourself the question, is it helping you to continue to put it off? If it's an asset for you to continue to procrastinate, then continue to do that. But if it's a liability for you, if it's causing you some mental and some emotional challenges, or perhaps a financial problem, look at that. Examine that for what it is. Next step, ask yourself, what's blocking you? What's preventing you from acting? Why don't you have the courage to handle that? Why won't you face that? What are you running away from? What kind of avoidance behavior are you engaged in? Next is, what is the worst thing that can happen when you take action? Next is, how will you feel after taking this action? I've felt a sense of personal achievement when we look out on our lives. You ask the question, what are you going to do? Look at, as you think about this that you know you need to handle, what are you going to do? And then write down 3 strong reasons on why you know you must take action. And being explicit and descriptive in your reasons, because your reasons have power. Your reasons will drive you. When you have doubt, when your faith becomes weak, your reasons will fortify your faith. When you have an inner conversation, say, no, don't do that. Your reasons will become your rod and your staff to comfort you, to take you through those challenging moments. So write down your reasons. And what you will find, that when you decide to act, when you decide to take life on, and let me warn you, it can be painful, it will be uncomfortable, and that's where the growth is. When you're uncomfortable, when you're stretching out, when you're taking life by the collar, you're going to get thrown to the ground again and again and again. But when you have determination, and you know that what you're doing is right, it gives you your life, it gives a special meaning and power to you, you will have some power from on high. You will discover some things about yourself that will begin to electrify your personality. You'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got. If you want something out of life, if you want to change yourself, if you want to acquire something, if there's some goal that you want to reach, that is really not easy as some people will make us feel. That living your dream, changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, it's challenging. It's hard. That living alone is just very difficult. And once we begin to come to grips with the fact that living is difficult, life is very challenging. I heard a song once by a guy named Dimples called, "If It Ain't One Thing, It's Another." I say to you, if it ain't one thing, it's 12 others. So how do we begin to nurture that hunger? What are the characteristics or the qualities of people that are hungry? What will it take for me to get some of the things that I want? And being hungry for those things, number one, you've got to work on yourself. It's very important that you engage in an ongoing process to develop you. Spend more time on yourself than what you've been spending. It's very important. You owe that to yourself. I was reading a book by Og Mandino called The University of Success. Read one line, gave me a chill. I didn't have to read anything else in the book. He said, many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. We spread ourselves too thin, don't know how to say no. And we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to do those things that we need to do to work on ourselves. And then there goes a second, there goes another second, there goes another second, and we can't stop and hold time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're behind in your dreams and your bills. So decide that you're going to take some time to work on you, that you deserve that from yourself, that your life deserves some prime time, because you are creating your own production. As Michael Todd would say, you are the star of your show. You are the director. You're writing the script. And you will determine whether your life is a smash office hit or flop. You determine that. Working on yourself, talking to yourself. That's so very important. Overcoming the negative conversation, that inner dialogue that's going on all the time, even when you don't want it to be there. You can't stop yourself right now from thinking. You can't do it. It's going on. And so learning how to empower yourself, part of doing that is standing up to yourself. You've got to stand up inside yourself sometimes and say, shut up. You'll get scared sometimes. Your mind will go blank on you. Some people you will allow to unnerve you. And you wonder, what's wrong with me? I'm not crazy. That's why you've got to learn to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to stand up inside yourself. Working on yourself, watching that inner dialogue, it will determine the quality of your life. When you have something you want to do, if you don't develop the courage to do that which has been given you to do, and you spend a lot of time going around trying to convince other people or trying to get their approval, what will happen is that you will lose your nerve. And other people will convince you that what you're doing doesn't have any value, and you'll give up on your dream. One idea can turn your life around. Deciding that you're going to focus to develop your skills. Most people never develop their talents. They have skills and abilities, but if you don't nurture them, if you don't develop them, they will never serve you. Your gifts can take you many places if you develop your gifts. Most of us don't like to do those things that come easy to us. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you. I grant you that if you begin to work to develop your gifts, you'll develop a strong sense of happiness. You'll get a larger vision of yourself, because part of beginning to get a larger vision of yourself, all of us need some area of our lives where we can have a feeling of competence. So you've got to work on it. When other folk are having a good time, you've got to have the strength of character to concentrate, to read, to digest information. If you decide in any particular area that you're concerned about to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to read one book a month in that area, in 5 years, you'll be among the top 5% experts in the world. Decide that you're going to push yourself. Most people won't do that. Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful. There's nothing as powerful. It's hard to kill the human spirit. The power to hold on in spite of everything. The power to endure. This is the winner's quality. The hunger, the ability to face defeat again and again without giving up. This is a winner's quality. You have that quality within you. When you're hungry, you don't care about the facts. You don't care about the odds. There's greatness in you. And you've got to learn how to tune out the critics outside and the critic inside. And says, I'm going to do this. I'm going to harness my will. And I'm not going to let anything stop me. I deserve this. I'm going to do it until. If you want something, you have got to be relentless. You've got to learn how to become resourceful. You've got to learn how to become creative. When crises strike in your life, and in the Chinese language, crises mean danger, but it also means opportunity. And this is an opportunity for you to grow. And you've got to be so relentless, regardless of what comes down the pike, that you're always looking for a way to get over, always looking for a way that you can break through, always looking for a way that you can win, always looking for a way that you can strike a telling blow.
Do you have the courage? Or will you die a dreamer? Will you die on the verge and on the edge and in the land of coulda, woulda, and shoulda? Do you have the courage? I'm going to drop something on you. It takes courage to be successful. It is far easier not to be successful. Misery will always have company. Success breeds contempt. If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. Be normal and fit in. And if you're more concerned about people than you are God, then neutralize everything he put in you. Just fit in with everybody else. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, eat like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you've neutralized your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you've never gone before. For some of you, it took courage to come to this conference. It takes courage to get you outside of the box. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging and the people get to talking and you stand there and say, I've come too far to turn around? Do you have the courage? I'm going to say something to you. It takes courage to be exceptional. It takes courage to be wise. It takes courage to be rich. It takes courage to be educated. It takes courage to be knowledgeable. Because the moment you do, you don't talk like, oh, you forgot where you came from. Look at you talking. It takes courage. And I'm just wondering, in this weak, watered-down, mediocre society that we live in today, in this reality TV world we live in today, I'm wondering if there's anybody left that's got the courage to say, after all I've been through, and all my ancestors have been through, and all my parents have been through, I didn't come through all of that just to fit in with normalcy. I have the courage to go after my dream. Is there a woman left in this entire Coliseum that's got some?
And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? For many years I didn't. One is because of fear. The fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if they do and I can't handle it? The other thing is that most people, ladies and gentlemen, they get comfortable. They stop growing. They stop working on themselves. They stop stretching. They stop pushing themselves. And they end up becoming very cynical about life. And they throw in the towel on themselves and on their families and on their dreams. And the other thing is that most people don't feel worthy. What I'm doing now, I could have been doing years ago. But because I did not have a college education, because I didn't believe in myself, because I allowed other people's opinion of me to control my destiny, I didn't act on my ideas. So I applaud you for your dreaming, for your running toward your dream. I applaud you for believing in yourself, because that's what life is about, stretching and challenging, looking for ways that you can begin to improve yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, as a result of stretching out, of acting on my dream, and I don't know what that dream is for you, I can tell you that it's possible. No one could have convinced me that after just over 6 years, I will have my own book entitled Live Your Dreams. Just over 6 years, I will have 5 specials on public television. Just over 6 years, I've done motivational speaking for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, Xerox, IBM. Just over 6 years, I will in your future. And not only is it important for you to know it's possible for you to choose your future, but it's necessary that you work on yourself, that you develop yourself. It's necessary that you get the energy drainers out of your life, people who don't want anything, people who are not striving, people who are not challenging themselves, people who aren't growing, people who have stopped dreaming. It's necessary that you align yourself with people and attract people into your business who are hungry, people who are unstoppable and unreasonable, people who are refusing to leave life just as it is and who want more. My mother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. If you run around with losers, you will end up a loser. It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life if you want to live your dream. It's necessary to know that everybody won't see it, that everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation, that you are an uncommon breed. You know, you have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one else sees it for me, I must see it for myself. That's necessary. It's also, ladies and gentlemen, necessary that you be creative when you're working on your ideas. Begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals. If just one of you capture the essence of what that means, that you have greatness within you and a responsibility to manifest that greatness, that you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again.
Okay, I'm actually going to pause it right there, just because we're getting close to like 9. I don't want to talk before our hour is over. Okay. Yeah, no, less is good. Nicole, you probably don't have to worry too much about less. Now, on Thursday, we listened to Gary Vee, and he's an F-bomb dropper, that's for sure. So I will always warn you guys if I know, though. Okay, so let's talk about that just a little bit. I think some of that's, the majority of it was really stuff that we've heard before. But again, I think it's super important to continue hearing that same message, because it's funny, even though I've heard that 5,000 times, don't give up, you have to have the courage, you have to keep going. There's something that happens every single time I listen to that stuff. I get choked up. I start to get emotional. I feel a pit in my stomach. I feel my heart start beating, or I start like sweating, or like I start just getting anxious, or I feel like he's talking to me, right? Like there's a moment where you're like, yeah, you're right. I do have to have the courage. I do have to keep going. And that's when, like, you know, you're on the right track, is how I always think. It's like, so when I can listen to something that I've listened to before, and I can listen to it again, and I still get that burning sensation. I still get that, yeah, you're right. I still get a little choked up every once in a while in certain parts. Like, that's how I know I'm also still on the continuous right track, right? So when you can listen to something multiple times and it's still giving you that same burning sensation that it did 2 years ago when I heard something like this. And so that's what I really like to check back in with older, like, motivation. Like, this is an older video, or it's not an older video posted, but it's from his older past talks. So I've heard it before, or a compilation of something like it before. But it's interesting about how it can still affect me emotionally, right? Like, just like hearing him talk about, you have to have the courage to step out and be different than anybody else, and how you have to have, like, courage to not be mediocre. Like, in that moment, I feel like my heart just starts to, like, pound, and like I can feel my eyes start to, like, well up. Exactly, Nicole. Like, it makes you kind of start to cry, like, because you start to think about things in your life, and you're like, yes, like, it motivates you, and it gets you inspired, and it gets you going. It, like, revs your freaking engine up, right? Guys, that's what personal development is all about. Like, literally, that's, like, bottom line what personal development is all about, is it gives me a burning sensation inside my bones, right? Like Like working out will move my muscles and will burn my muscles in a certain way, but personal development gives me that, like, that feeling on the inside. Okay, is like that same feeling as like, oh, I don't know if I can do 2 more reps of these bicep curls. Like my biceps are just freaking pumping. I'm gonna drop these weights, but I did it. That's the same feeling that personal development gives for me, is that it gives me that burning sensation of like, oh yeah, I'm in it. And it gets me motivated. And I think that's the what I see so many people out in the world missing. Maybe they do work out. Maybe they do eat healthy. And then I ask them if they do personal development, and they go, what's that? And I'm like, whoa, you got a lot of work to do in there, don't you? Like, I know that if you don't know what it is, you have a lot of work to do. Because, and it's unfortunate because you don't know until you know, right? Like, you don't know that there's all this information out there that you don't know yet, or else you would know it, right? Like, you don't know that it's out there. And so maybe somebody exposes it to you, or maybe you jumped on a call like this and you go, who's that Les Brown? Who's Les Brown? Who's Brene Brown? Tony Robbins? Who's that? Who's Rachel Hollis? Who's Gary Vee? Like, you know, that's why I always try to really switch up to like who we end up listening to, just because there might be somebody that you resonate with that so-and-so didn't, or vice versa. And so there might be somebody that you just catch and you're like, ooh, who is that person? You know? And so that's why I think it's really important, you guys, as much as I love for you guys to work out, lose weight, get abs, you know, and get healthy, you guys, it starts from the inside. The inside has to change before anything else will. Okay? It has to come from the inside. And you know that when you see those people that are like super fit, but like you can tell they're not happy, right? But you can also tell when somebody is beaming from the inside, right? Like through their smile. When they take a picture, they're like this, not, you know, trying to hide all the different angles and like mess with their face and like make sure they're all perfect. Like somebody that's happy from the inside, they see a camera and they're like, yeah, whatever I look like, take a picture, it doesn't matter, right? But somebody who mentally struggles, the first thing they'll do is hide angles. Ooh, hide, how can I stand? How can I hide? How can I, oh no, put my kid in front of me and hide behind my kid. That's up here. Okay? That's up here. That's an issue with the way we think mentally about ourselves, or the way we think other people are going to think about us. Right? Like, ooh, what if somebody sees this picture and thinks I'm fat? Right? That is not about you being fat. That's about your mental thought process about yourself. Right? Because I don't go around saying, oh, she's overweight. I don't do that. I actually look at people's faces and I go, wow, she's super unhappy. I don't look at people's weight. It doesn't matter to me. I look at like what they say to me, or the way they're talking about themselves, or the way that they look, maybe in a picture or something like that. I look more like through people, like into their souls. I want to know what your brain says about yourself. Okay? But you guys have to have the courage to continue going. I love that word. I love the word courage. I think it's one of the most like beautiful words. And it just, it can be so eye-opening when you realize that all you need is courage. That's it. Nothing else is stopping you other than your own brain not having the courage to step out. Okay? You're stopping yourself. Why are you doing that? Do you ever ask yourself that? Do you ever like stop and ask yourself, why am I stopping myself? Like what they talked about in the beginning. It's like, do you ever just sit and ask yourself why you're doing something? Why you were made for this? Why you were not made for this? Why are you here? What is your plan? What are you doing? And why? Do you ever really, really, really stop to ask yourself those questions? Because I think we maybe need to start doing that. Okay, like really stopping and asking ourselves, is this the life I envisioned for myself? Is this the path I thought I was going to be on? And be honest with yourself. Okay, truly be honest with yourself and take responsibility for it too, you guys. That's like one of my second favorite words is have the courage and take responsibility. Okay, you are exactly where you're at because of either the acceptance of responsibility or the lack of responsibility. Okay, and so maybe you just need to analyze that. Like, is this where I envision myself? Am I stepping up to the plate enough? Am I allowing my courage to come through so I can take responsibility and actually achieve what I know I'm supposed to be achieving? Am I fully applying myself? Right? I'm going to read over here real quick. I love that too. Dude, I love Les. He's such a good speaker. I don't know if you guys have ever, I don't know if you guys do audiobooks, but he has an audiobook. I just downloaded like the best of Les Brown. And he has like some amazing speeches on there. And I just pop them on every once in a while. Like anytime I just need like my heart to feel happy, I put on Les Brown. Like he speaks to me in a way that just makes me feel motivated. Like as simple as that. Like he just makes me feel like, yeah, you're right. I can do this. You're right. I do need to take responsibility. You're right. I am capable of this. If I was just like not fearful of anybody else. And if I just stepped up and I just took control, then I know I'm capable of it. And I know it's going to be worth it. And I know it's going to be hard, but I'm capable. Like, I just love the way that he speaks. If you guys can't tell, I can probably say some of his speeches. I've listened to him so many times. Okay, let me make sure I talked about what everything. I love that your reasons had power. I wrote that down as well. In like negative or positive, right? Like your reasons as to why you're not losing the weight has so much power, regardless of whether it's correct or not, right? But if you hold on to that reason of, oh, my thyroid is messed up, so I can't lose weight, that's your reason, and you're going to hold on to it, and it has so much power over you. Maybe it is a factor into why it's a struggle for you to lose weight, but is it the reason fully as to why you're not losing the weight? Probably not, right? There's probably other factors that are playing in. Maybe your nutrition is off. Maybe you're not really trying very hard during those workouts. Maybe you need to switch up your workout. Maybe it's the type of workout. You know what I mean? Like there's so many other factors that can be involved in that. But your reason is you have thyroid issues. And so you give it all that power. And so then you can have an excuse as to why you can't lose weight. But what if you said, regardless of whether I have thyroid issues, I'm capable of losing this weight? It's going to be harder for me than it was for her because I have these issues, health issues, but I'm capable of still doing it. Right? Like, what if we stopped giving those reasons or excuses so much power over us and we just went for it regardless? Okay? So we have these reasons, but don't allow them to have power over you in a negative aspect, but because you could also switch it around and have a powerful aspect. I have reasons as to why I continue coaching. Because I lost my dad to an unhealthy heart attack 8 years ago. I have reasons as to why I'm sitting here trying to get multiple people healthy, because it keeps my mom healthy. And keeping my mom healthy was the number one thing I said to myself when I started coaching. If I could at least help my mom, I'll be happy. If I could at least help my mom lose weight and stay healthy, I'm good. That was my reason. And look what happened as a result of it. We have a challenge group with almost 600 people in it. We have coaches of over 140 coaches on the team. This one reason has led to a domino effect of other things. And so the reasons can have so much power. Choose your reasons wisely. Are they going to be reasons as to why you can't do something, or are they going to be reasons as to why you have to absolutely continue doing something? For me, I have to absolutely continue coaching. I refuse to ever let it down because of my reasons as to why I'm here, right? Like I want to retire Mike from construction. That's a reason as why I'm here. And that's why a reason why I will continue doing what I'm doing. And it will hold me to it when it gets hard, when I feel like giving up, when I feel like everything's falling apart. I have reasons that hold me there, and they have a lot of power. But had I chose other reasons, could go the opposite way so easily, right? So choose your reasons and your excuses or your whatever very, very wisely, because they hold so much power over you, and they can either work for you or against you. Okay, so make sure they're working for you. Find a way to spin it to win it in your favor. Okay, all right. I think that's kind of all I had for today, other than just like developing your gifts and skills. But I think we're going to go over that tomorrow. I think we're going to feed into that tomorrow, and developing skills and developing gifts and how to follow the path that you were given. Okay, so that's what I'd really like to talk to you this week. Because like for me, you guys, everything I feel like has happened in my life has lined me up to be a health coach for women. Everything. I've been a cheerleading coach. I went to communications. I have a women's studies minor. Even my massage therapy has led me into like being a coach of just like being a giver and being a healer. Like everything that has come into my life has led me exactly where I'm supposed to be, right here. And so those skills that I learned all along the way are now like in their glory, you know? Organizing women into groups. That's literally what I went to college for. Here we are, organizing women into groups. Like, what have your skills and what hobbies or skills or, you know, like gifts do you have that you could start using and building the life that you actually want? Okay, so that's what I would love to talk about the rest of the week. So I will get more into that tomorrow. Happy Monday. Hopefully Les got you revved up and ready to go for the rest of the day. Hopefully you get off of here and you're just like, damn, I need that motivation every day. I need to continue going. I need to continue pushing. I need to continue developing myself, right? I need to continue developing myself, because if I'm not continuing developing, how can I ask the people around me to continue developing? Lead from the front. Step out by yourself and be willing to lead from the front for your family, for your community, for your friends, whatever. Yeah, you're going to be different. You're welcome. Trust me, being different is so much more fun than being in the masses. I always look at it as like, what is it called? The Kansas City Shuffle. Kansas City Shuffle, while everybody's looking left, you're going right. That's what Mike and I always said. We like, since we've been together, it's like, well, everybody's going this way, we're going this way. We are the upriver swimmers. We'd like to go the opposite way of everybody else. And so far it's worked out pretty well for us. So take it or leave it. But I suggest stepping out into your own and really developing yourself, and regardless of what anybody thinks. It's not about them, right? It's not about them. Your life is about you and your journey. Nobody else. Okay? Mike and I even had to kind of get into that over the weekend of just like, he was talking about wakeboarding. He's like, it's weird to me that this is for me. He's like, I've always been, let's move here so Jenny can do this, or let's move here so Derek can do this. He's like, this is for me. I go, yeah, this is for you. Like, we're moving for you. And, but it was weird to him because he had never really been selfish. Right. And I was like, yeah, you absolutely need to be selfish every once in a while. Right. Like, if we as a family are developing the life we want to live, like, why is your opinion not in on it? You know? And so him being selfish in this moment doesn't mean that I'm suffering, right? I'm excited too. We're moving to Orlando. Okay, Disney's right around the corner. Cool, let's do it. You know, of course it's a selfish move for him. It's still going to benefit the whole family. Like, we're all in on it. We're a unit together. And so just know that sometimes when you think you're being selfish, you're not. Right? Like, the selfish act feels weird at first because you're making decisions based on what you want. But if you are actually happy and happy mama, what does that do for the rest of the family? Right? It just goes right down the family. Like, I know when I am losing my shit, the whole household is like out of control. But the moment I'm on point and I'm keeping myself on track and I'm keeping with my health and my, you know, whatever it is, dude, the whole household functions like so pretty. But if I don't take the time for myself, if I don't take the time to feed into myself, then I'm not carrying the family like I should be. So it feels selfish in the act, in the initial moment, but it's for the family, always. Okay? So just remember, being selfish isn't always really selfish. Okay? Like, I know it feels like it. And I hate that word even. Like, that word has such a negative connotation to it. And it's like, it's not a bad thing to think about yourself every once in a while. And I hate that our society has really like shunned it. Because if you don't think about yourself, why would anybody else think about you? Right? So don't forget about yourself and your goals and your dreams. And if you don't have any, you've got to start journaling. Journaling will bring them out. Okay? Remember that. Alrighty, ladies, I am done for today. I'm going to go hit my workout. I'm going to go do some MBF. Woo, woo. I'm going to do that sample workout. And then tomorrow we will come back and chat. And then I'm also going to start MBF tomorrow with the coaches. So I'm very excited. So we got a big week going on. Thank you, ladies, for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a fabulous Monday, okay? All right. Bye.